Hello everyone, this is Kathy with Paper Phenomenon. It is November 1st and we're going to get started on the Lapbook inspired December daily project. We're going to dive right into this. So we're going to start with making the actual construction of my Lapbook. Alright, the actual construction, and then we're going to continue on with layering some pockets and some decorating. Alright, so let's dive right in. We're going to start off with needing, I did tell you you're going to need a total of 6 file folders, but we're going to start off with 3, all right, and you want to select 3 that have the banks are perfectly in line, and we're going to start off with the center file folder, all right, the file folder that has the tab right in the center, and I'd like you to open that up, all right, and I'm a righty, so I got to have it this way. So what I'd like you to do is start working on the side opposite the tab. So the side that does not have the tab is the first side that you're going to work with. I'd like you to take that piece, fold it over toward the center, lining it up with that center fold line right here. So you see that fold line that you get in the file folder? I want you to go ahead and line it up. Go ahead and butt it up if you can and stop right there. Make sure your corners are perfectly lined up. And grab your bone folder and you're going to create a fold or a crease. Okay, just like so. I do recommend that you use a bone folder just so you get a perfectly creased edge. Okay, and then for the next step, again, like I'm a righty, I'm just going to go ahead and flip this over. I'd like you to take the side with the tab and do the same thing. However, I want you to be sure that that tab fits perfectly snug in that space. Okay, so it's like if you're putting a puzzle piece together, and once you get it perfectly snug in that space, I'd like you to go ahead and do the same thing. Grab your bone folder and create a crease in that file folder. Okay, so this is the beginning of a Lapbook, or this is a Lapbook, and like I said in my previous video, this is what homeschoolers and teachers create to put their lesson plans in here, whatever they're going to do for that particular school lesson. This is what they create, and they just stick things in there and they close it up. All right, guys? But we're going to take it up a few more notches, and we're going to create a really fun interactive piece that you can use for any occasion, not just for a December daily. I just thought that it would make a perfect December daily project. All right? So now that we've created our basic Lapbook, we're going to put this to the side, and we're going to work with the other 2 banks or the other 2 file folders that have the tabs on the left hand side and the right hand side. So you're going to go ahead and grab those 2. You're going to grab your paper trimmer. All right, you need a really good sharp blade on this paper trimmer because we're going to be cutting through 2 layers of file folder material. Alright, you're going to place a file folder in your paper trimmer, and you're going to place the tab at the 8-inch mark. Alright, so that tab is going to be right at that 8-inch mark. Alright, let's forget about the little dip in there. You want the edge of the tab right on that 8-inch mark. So let's go ahead and cut. Alright, that's going to be your first cut. You're going to save this, do not discard it, okay? So then you're going to have 2 pieces that look like this. So let's put this to the side with the corresponding piece that we cut off. Let's do the same thing to the other file folder. So the straight edge of the tab you're going to place at the 8-inch mark, and you're going to cut. Okay, just like so. Very simple. So we've got 2 nice pieces. So we're going to take our paper trimmer and we're going to put it to the side. Alright, so a little bit more prepping. So let's put these pieces to the side. Be sure not to lose your little, the pieces you cut, because you're going to need them, all right? We're going to use it all, which these are the types of projects that I like, when you use everything. Then what you're going to do is grab the last set of file folders, and I have mine here nice and handy. So our last set of file folders, we're going to do a couple things to them, all right? We're going to, again, remove the center file folder. All right, remove that center file folder. Let's grab our paper trimmer once again, and we're going to do a little cutting. So what we want to do is leave the file folder in the folded position, just like so. I'd like you to place one side of the file folder at the 1-inch mark. Notice that the rest of my file folder is out of the cutting bed. All right, so place that at the 1-inch mark, just like so, and cut. You're going to go ahead and remove this. Remove 1 inch. Then you're going to flip it over, and you're going to place it at the 1-inch mark once again, and you are going to remove another inch. All right, so essentially all we did was remove 2 inches from the file folder, but I want my center tab to still stay in the middle, so all I did was cut 1 inch and 1 inch from either side, and it still gives me a perfectly centered tab. All right, and then the last step for the center file folder, this we're going to discard, we do not need. We're going to cut this decorative edge here, or die cut edge, cut it at the 8-inch mark. So we're going to extend our arm there. We're going to place the fold of the file folder, lift this tab portion up. So place the fold of the file folder at the 8-inch mark once again. Lift that flap, make sure it's away from the cutting blade, and remove that section. So what you're looking for is a straight edge. Okay, so you have 8 inches from here to here, 9 5/8 of an inch from here to here. All right, so that's all you're doing. This piece you're going to toss. You do not need it. So let's put this to the side with all of our other components. Let's get rid of our paper trimmer. Now we're going to use the final 2 file folders. We're going to use our paper trimmer again, so don't put it too far away. So the last 2 left and right hand banks, okay, what I'd like you to do is the side with no tab, I'd like you to fold over to the folded edge. All right, so fold that over. So you have the opening on your right hand side, you're folding to your left. Your left hand side should be the folded edge. You're going to fold it over, line it up beautifully, nice and straight. Make sure everything lines up here, here, and here. All right, so take your time. No need to just fly by this. Grab your bone folder, create a crease. Beautiful. Do the same thing on the other side. I want you to notice that your tab will extend, all right, past this center point right here. What you're going for is lining up this with this. This one is a little trickier because if you line it up with the edge, it's not going to line up straight here. So you got to kind of maneuver it a little bit, all right? Manipulate the paper. You want to go for 2 straight edges on this end over here. All right, as best as you can. If it's not perfectly straight, it's fine. You can live. I didn't get mine perfectly straight. See, it's just got about a 1/16 of an inch off there. All right, but that's all you're going for. You're going for something that looks like this. Notice the tab extends past the folds, so that's what you want. All right, just like so. Let's repeat the same process to the other one. So you're going to go ahead and fold toward the center fold over here, or to the fold on your right hand side. Line that up. Line everything up at the top and at the bottom. Make sure all your corners are nice and square and looking good. Grab your bone folder and crease. Flip it over, or however it's most comfortable for you. And you want to go ahead and make sure you line up your fold with the fold right there at the bottom. Lining up the edge will not necessarily work, okay? Because these file folders are not the exact size. Remember that this size was 1/8 of an inch bigger than this side. All right, so you got to kind of go over a little bit, about 1/8 of an inch, okay? Which is kind of hard to eyeball, but at least that gives you a jumping off point, okay? Just like so. So mine is still a little off, but too bad you can't see that. I'm going to have to record in the daytime so we don't get so much glare. All right, so that's what you're looking for. These 2 pieces right here, okay? Next thing you're going to do is grab that paper trimmer. let's go for it. Grab the paper trimmer, and I'd like you to cut. I didn't actually measure this, so let me give you a measurement so you can have a guide. What I want is this. I want to eliminate this fold. I want to create an opening, okay, is what I want to do. So essentially we're going to separate these two pieces, okay? So that's all you're going to do. You know what? Before you separate them, let me do you one better. All right, so you don't have to line things up. Let's make it easy. I want you to grab that cream cardstock that we talked about, all right? The cream cardstock, and I'd like you to create two strips that measure 11 and 5/8 of an inch, all right? So 11 and 5/8 of an inch this way, 1.5 inches this way, and I'd like you to score right down the middle at 3/4 inches, all right? So you're creating a paper hinge, all right? You're going to need two of these. I'd like you to go ahead and apply some tape to one of the hinges, okay? One hinge only. To the one that's going to go here on the inside, okay? Doesn't matter, this is non-directional, but I just want to show you what we're going to do with it. I'd like you to grab some double-sided tape. I prefer that you use 1/4 inch double-sided tape for this process, okay? 1/4 inch double-sided tape. I'd like you to apply your tape really close to the fold, all right? So right at that fold, I'd like you to apply that double-sided tape. Very important that you do that. If it's easier for you to fold this piece in half and then apply your tape, I suggest that you go ahead and do that because you want it very, very, very close to the fold, okay? As close as possible to that fold without going over, all right? That is also very important. You don't want to go over the fold. So see that tape really close to the fold? Man, we're getting lots of glare there. Let's see what I can do to help this out. Then what I'd like you to do is flip the piece over and apply another strip of tape right on the other side of this same tab, okay, of this same flap, not on the other flap. Same flap, right on the fold, just like so. So remember, same flap, do not put it on the other flap, same flap, people. All right, so we have one flap right here, we got tape and tape, alrighty, really close to that fold. Then what I'd like you to do is you're eventually going to remove the tape backing, but what you're going to do is you are going to go ahead and insert it into the opening, okay, opposite the tab, into the opening, and you're going to stick it in there, okay? That's all you're going to do. And it's going to seal that pocket. But not only is it going to seal that pocket, it's going to do one other thing, and I shall explain. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's remove the tape backing. And I need my craft knife to remove my tape backing. So let's find that very quickly. Here it is. So let's remove the tape backing from both sides. All right, you got to have a game plan here. You don't want to glue this in crooked. Okay? So what I like to do is kind of just place it over like this. Line everything up. Nice and pretty. And then just stick it down. Okay? And then once I stick it down to one side, I just go ahead and bring it down and stick. Okay? See what we just did there? We sealed the bottom of the file folder and we have a tab. Alright, this tab or this flap will enable us to attach this piece to our base file folder or to the Lapbook. Alright? Now to create a pocket, that's when you grab your paper trimmer and you're going to remove a portion of this fold right here. Alright, so what you want to do is definitely bring the fold underneath this opening right here. So let's say you're going to remove about 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch. Alright, so you could just eyeball it. It's not super important. If you want to think about matting and paper saving, this center right here measures 4 3/8 of an inch. So if you bring it right down to 4, would not make me happy because it's still going to show. So if you bring it right down to 3 3/4 inches, it's perfect, okay? So let's go ahead and grab our paper trimmer. Let's bring it down to 3 3/4 inches. So you're going to take this corner right here. Remember, you want to remove this side out, and that's where you're going to line up at the 3 3/4 inch mark. Okay, so there's where you're going to line it up. It doesn't have to be exact, okay? So line that up at the 3 3/4 inch line and cut. Okay, just like so. Now you have an opening like this. See that? We're going to close that, don't you worry. Whoopsie. Just dropped my Lapbook. Now, with this fabulous little piece here, you just created a hinge. So we're going to use this to our advantage. And we will seal this pocket right here. Okay, just like so, we're going to seal it. So we have a quick measurement of 3 inches will do. Alright, but I'm going to just go ahead and use this hinge to my advantage and apply double-sided tape to both sides, to each hinge, to each side of the hinge or the flap. Flip it over and apply double-sided tape. And I know I have to use this again, so that's why I'm doing it to the entire piece. See that? So you have tape on both sides of the paper hinge. You did not put tape on the fold, alright? You always want to avoid the fold. Unless otherwise instructed, you want to avoid that fold. Now what I'd like you to do is grab your paper trimmer and cut 2 pieces at 3 inches. 2 pieces at 3 inches. Oh, come on. There we go. One more time. And 3 inches. Save this piece. You're going to need it because you have to do one more. So you know what? Just cut it 3 inches so you don't have to do it again. Just don't lose them. Save them. I'm really talking to myself because I would lose this. Alright, so now just for the sake of prepping, let's go ahead and taper these. So you're going to taper from the fold down, okay? From the fold down. Again, taper, not too exaggerated, but just go ahead and taper those corners. Alright, always from the fold, and then you cut. You angle. And that's it. That's all there is to that. So essentially what we created here, what I typically call in my projects, for those of you who make my projects, you all must be saying, Kathy, you're making a pocket tab. Okay? This is what I call a pocket tab. Alright, so I need 2. You want to save these 2 for this other file folder here. So what I'd like you to do is take this one pocket tab. I'd like you to remove the tape backing from both sides. Very simply. And I'd like you to open this up right here. And notice it doesn't open all the way. There's a reason for that, and I will explain. I want you to line up the corner of the pocket tab with the corner of the file folder. Okay? Line it up. Stick it down. Nice and neat. And then you're going to stick this piece down over it. Okay? We could have just glued this. But why? Why would we want to just glue that when we could create a pocket tab and keep the entire inside space of this file folder just by creating this pocket tab? Had we glued this shut, you would have lost a ½ inch on both sides. So you would have lost an inch of inside space to this pocket by gluing it shut. And quite frankly, sometimes they open. Alright, so this pocket tab, you want to think about this when you're creating pockets. Alright, this is something you want to think about. And second pocket tab, go ahead and remove that tape backing. So you're essentially lining up the point with the point here. Okay, and you're sticking it down. And I got to kind of maneuver it a little bit to work for me. Just like that. And now secure it on the other side. So now you've got yourself a nice pocket. You have the entire span to fit 3 nice tags. Now let's talk about that extra piece of cardstock that's in there. What that piece of cardstock does is create what I call a tension pocket, okay? Because we didn't have to do that. Let me grab some tags here very quickly. And you know what? I'm just going to pull the tags out of my project right here. So what we could have done is just slap the hinge on the outside to secure our piece. But we take it a step further to create that tension pocket, because what that does is it secures the tag in place. It's not going to go flying all over the place when you open your project. All right? That's what that does for you. Had you not had that there, your tags will do this. They'll flip this way. They'll flip out of your pocket. That little piece of cardstock in there creates a little bit of tension, which gives you a place to actually stick those tags. All right? If you're using a big piece, it doesn't matter. All right? Because it will fill the space. But when you're using smaller pieces, you kind of want them to stay in their place. All right? And that's what that does for you. It keeps it in its place. All right? So that's what that's all about. And that's it. You've created your piece. If you'd like to round these corners, which I think you should because it gives it a nice tapered look, I say go for it. I use my corner chomper, and I'm going for the 1/2 inch mark over here, or for the 1/2 inch circle rounder thingy. All right, and I'm gonna punch, and same deal over here. And I lost the other wing to my corner chomper because I dropped it and it doesn't align properly. So I think it's going to be time to retire this one pretty soon. So that's it. That's all there is to it. Now you're going to do it one more time. All right, one more time to this one right over here. Let's put this one to the side with all of our other components. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to grab our paper hinge. Right, we're going to apply our tape. We're going to pick one side of the paper hinge, any side. We're going to apply the tape really close to that fold without going over. Okay, very, very close to that fold. Okay, then we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side of that particular hinge. Okay, there's two sides to a hinge. You're going to do this to one side of the hinge only. All right, so this is the side I pick, and I have tape here and tape here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and remove the tape backing, just like so, and we are going to insert it. And I like to do it this way, kind of lay it over just so I can get it perfectly lined up. All right, so kind of line it up that way. Then I fold it over, get a good stick, and then fold it that way. Okay? Just like that. That's it. That's all there is to it, my friends. That's it. So now you've secured that. Now what you want to do is cut, right? So we cut at 3 3/4 inches. So this fold right here, we're going to put at the 3 3/4 inch mark. And we're going to remove this section. We already created our little pocket tabs with the other one, but let's save this just in case we may have to create a few more pocket tabs. So, I got one. Didn't I say I was going to save them? What'd I do with it? This is exactly what I talk about, I tell ya. I do this all the time. It probably fell on the floor and I didn't even notice. Because that is something that I would do. Oh, here it is. Here it is. All right. So now let's stick these in, put these in place. Let's stick them down. Removing the tape backing. And just sticking it down in place and creating a nice pocket. Whoopsie. Nice and straight. You don't want those pocket tabs hanging out. Not cool. And on this side, same deal. I've got tape backing all over the place on this side. Got to get rid of it. And sticking it in place. Just like that. I have to tell you that I will be recording videos 30 minutes long. Alright, I may go over 30 minutes in some cases, but most of them will be 30 minutes because it takes forever and a day for me to upload a YouTube video. So I will be doing 30-minute segments, alright? And they will be uploaded for you all to enjoy, alright? And again, rounding that corner. And that's it. We've got ourselves 2 interactive elements to include in our Lapbook. Alright, but before we include these into our Lapbook, we have to make a few attachments. Alright, so we're going to put these to the side, and I'm creeping up on my 30 minutes. So what we're going to do is stop this video, and I will be right back.